Today we're going to learn how to paint gold NMM on Ragnar Blackmane.
Then the entirety of the cosmos is accessible to each and every individual's mind, connected to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to paint the gold non-metallic metal surfaces, namely the trim and his belt on Ragnar Blackmane. The gold that I'm going to be using is going to be a more orangey gold, which complements the blue on Ragnar Blackmane. The technique I'm going to be using in these videos are stippling, and it's going to be slightly different from how I usually paint, but it's really quick and very efficient. This video is part of a greater series of videos where I talk about component by component how I paint Ragnar Blackmane. So if you're ready to learn, let us begin. Alright, so now all the gold areas have been base coated in Vallejo model chocolate brown. I've done it with a very fine tip Da Vinci size 0 series 35, and now I'm currently using Vallejo model color orange brown to start stippling in some of the highlights. At this point of time, you want to make sure when you're stippling the brush, stippling the paint in, you want to make sure that the paint is not too dry so that it flows off the stipple brush. I'm currently using a smaller stencil brush to create these highlights. You want to make sure that the shape of the highlights are coherent with the rest of the model. So what do I mean about coherency? As you guys can see in the previous video in the cards, what you will see right here is that the blue armor has been already painted. So therefore, what's gonna happen is that the gold armor will also need to be in line with what's happening for the blue armor, where, say for example, this belly highlight that you see on the bottom right of his abdominal section, there will need to be a highlight which is aligned on the belt. Okay, so this makes it very important, and when you align all the highlights coherently, it really sells the effect of non-metallic metal. Okay, so at this stage you don't want to be too neat, because I'll be obviously cleaning up the belt in black later, so any over stipple is fine. What you want to get is, you want to get the overarching color and the overarching highlight area. The shapes can be changed later. Alright, so currently still going more with the orange brown. Okay, so now I'm currently mixing in orange brown with Vallejo model color German beige. So this will serve as the initial highlight. As you guys can see, I'm just stippling to create some texture, just barely even touching the model, just roughly dabbing on some of the paints. For areas such as the shoulder pauldron with a more defined edge, what I'm doing is I'm trying to flick near the edges. So what this provides is it automatically creates edge highlight, so it really saves a lot of time. This entire process is really quick. It really took me very little time, and yeah, and I highly recommend it to everybody that's having a problem with huge backlog. And you want to get your models painted somehow, or you also don't want to pay a commission painter to do it, so you just got to do it yourself, and this is fast and good. And yeah, everybody should give this method a try. It's really a new approach to how to get your models painted really quick and really nicely. But most importantly about this process is you want to make sure that you're familiar with you're more familiar with volumes. So this is in turn aligned with values. So if you want to understand more about values and geometric shapes and how to highlight, like many of the questions asked on the comment section, what you guys can do is check out the video on the top right hand corner now. So the video on the top right hand corner will talk about values and talk about geometric shapes, and these are the basic principles where you can decide where to place the highlights. Based on these principles, I place the highlights on the top right hand corner of this mini diorama, and based on the top right hand corner, every surface is coherent with this. Alright, so what you're seeing now is that I'm shaping down the highlights using Games Workshop REIKLAND FLESHSHADE. REIKLAND FLESHSHADE is a reddish orange tone where usually you've seen it being used to shade down just Caucasian flesh. However, I find it extremely useful to create this very warm orange gold which you are seeing on Ragnar Blackmane right now. Okay, most importantly, what you also want to do is you want to reshape the highlights, because previously the highlights are just dabbed on. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the highlight shape is thicker towards the edge highlight and thinner towards the middle, and this is what I'm doing for all the surfaces. Alright, so now with pure KIMERA white, I'm doing even more fine edging to define the shapes of the entire metal surface. So I'm doing the belts, the pauldrons, and a little bit of the shin guard because there's a bit of gold decorations there too. Alright, so I hope you found this video tutorial useful. If you did, now is a good time to click the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so, and we'll show you the final product in just a little bit. Alright, yeah, I hope you have a good day painting, and I'll catch you in a little bit. So what do you think about this tutorial? In the next video, we're going to be learning how to paint the gold aquila which Ragnar Blackmane is jumping from. The technique is going to be pretty similar, but I think it'll be really useful so that you learn how to make the environment which Ragnar Blackmane is currently in. What do you think about this tutorial? Let me know in the comments below, and what other models would you like to see me paint? Just let me know in the comments below and I'll try to suit that up as best as possible. If you can support the channel, do head on to the Patreon and become a Patreon today. The exclusive video for this series will be Ragnar Blackmane's face. And when I talk about painting faces, we'll go in depth about how I paint faces and the colors I use. However, if you can't become a Patreon, that's okay too. Really appreciate you watching to the end of this video. So if you can, please leave a like and subscribe and all the other stuff because it helps this channel grow a lot. And I will see you in the next video. See you!